This is Mr. Clown here from Clown Maths. Today we're going to look at the whole of percentages in National 5 Maths. That's reverse percentages and appreciation and depreciation. Those are the most common types that come up in the National 5 Maths exam. Okay, same type of question here, but this time non-calculator. I can't use a calculator at all. So it's 2014, paper 1, question 9. This was from 480,000 tickets were sold for a tennis tournament last year. This represents 80% of all available tickets. Calculate the total number of tickets that were available for this tournament. I know that 80% represents 480,000. And I want to know what's 100% going to be. So I need to get down to 1% maybe, or 10%, and then back up to 100%. In this case, I can see that 80 does go into 480,000, so I'll find 1% by dividing by 80. 480,000 divided by 80. So I can knock a 0 off straight away. 8 sixes is 48. 1, 2, 3 zeros left over. So I've got 6,000 for 1%, and therefore 100%, just times them by 100. Making sure I get all my zeros in, 600,000. And there we are. Okay, reverse percentages, but this time with a calculator. Still 2015, paper 2, question 8. It says James paid £297.50 for a laptop in a sale. The discount in the sale was 15%. Calculate the original price of the laptop. Here's a tip, there's no time in this question, so it's probably reverse percentages. We start off in the same way by doing the multiplier. So we've got 100%. It was in a discount, so it's been taken off, so minus 15%. That leaves 85%. Change that to a decimal in the normal way. Divide by 100 to get 0.85. So now, since we're going backwards, we're not going to times by 0.85 because we're trying to get back to the original price, so we divide by 0.85. So 297.50 divided by 0.85, calculator time. Exactly 350. So our answer is £350. Notice there's no time in this question. If you don't notice time, it might be divide. Look for things like original price. 4,830 tickets for the show. This is 15% more than last year. How many tickets did they sell? So this is a reverse percentage question. You need to realise that 4,830 tickets represents, 15% more than last year. So if last year was 100%, this year is 115%. So the easiest way then to get 100%, which is how much was sold last year, is divide by 115 and times by 100. So 4,830 divided by 115 times 100. And this is a calculator paper, so we just get our calculator. 4,830 divided by 115 times 100. We get 4,200. And we're done there. 2 planets in our solar system. The volume of Venus is 9.3 times 10 to the 11 cubic kilometres. This is 85% of the volume of Earth. Calculate the volume of Earth. Notice it does not say it's went down by 85%. It's just telling you that it's 85% of the volume of Earth. So 85% is our multiplier. Okay. So 85%, change that to a decimal. 85 divided by 100. 0.85. So we now just take our number 9.3 times 10 to the 11 divided by 0.85 to get back up to 100%. 9.3 times 10 to the power of 11 divided by 0.85, and we get a huge number. So we've got 109,411 76,470,58.82 cubic kilometres. Now, doesn't ask us to round it or anything like that, but it's not a very reasonable number. So I will, just for the sake of this, round this to the same degree of accuracy is a question, so 2 significant figures. So that gives me 1.1 times 10 to the power of, well, all the numbers after the first one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 up to the decimal place, to the power of 12, and it's cubic kilometres, so kilometres cubed. Percentages, SQA National 5 Maths 2019 Paper 2 Question 9. Georgia had her roof repaired. She's charged an extra 2.5% for late payment. She had to pay a total of $977.85. How much would she have saved if she had paid on time? So we need to realise that 102.5%, 100 plus 2.5% equals 977.85. So we need to, usually we go down to 1% and back up to 100 because usually we want to know how much it cost before, but this time we need to read the question. How much would she have saved? We just need to work out what 2.5% represents. So to work out 1%, we get our calculator out and do 977.85 divided by 102.5, and that gives us an answer of £9.54. And therefore, 2.5% is what she paid, so I do 9.54 times my 2.5, and that gives me a final answer of £23.85. So she would have saved £23.85. National 5 Maths 2021 Paper 1 Question 12. A band sold 2,400 tickets for their gig. This was 75% of the number of tickets sold for their gig in Glasgow. Calculate the number of tickets they sold for their gig in Glasgow. So 2,400 tickets represents 75%. We need to work out 100%. So 2,400 equals 75%. And we want to get up to 100%. Well, we could go down to 1%, but that'd be divided by 75. Nicer way is to go down to 25% because then we can go up to 100 by times it by 4. So just think of dividing each side by the same number. If I divide this side by 3, I get down to 25%. So I can divide this side by 3. 3 eighths is 24, so that's 800. And then I need to go up to 100%. So I can times by 4 and times this side by 4. 4 eighths is 32, so you get 3,200. So the answer is 3,200 tickets. Now, of course, you could do other ways. You could divide by 75 directly and then times by 100. 10. Tommy buys flower seeds from our website. He's given a 30% discount. He pays £16.10. Calculate the cost without the discount. No time in this question, so I'm probably dividing. So 30% discount, which means 100% minus 30%, that means he's paid 70%. So we know that 70% represents £16.10. We could go down to 10% and back up to 100% hopefully. So let's just go down to 10%, divide by 7 to give me 10%, divide by 7. So that gives me 7 2s are 14, 2 left over, 7 3s are 21, and 0, £2.30 for 10%. So 100% must be £23. SQA National 5 Maths 2023 Paper 2 Question 6. Nadine bought a flat last year. The value of the flat has increased by 8% and is now worth £94,500. How much did they pay for the flat? Notice there's no time in this question. Usually when there's no time, it's reverse percentages. So it's increased by 8%. So I know that 94,500 equals 108%. And I want to know what it was worth last year, so I need to go down to 100%. So to get to 100%, I just divide by 108 and then times by 100. So 194,500 divided by 108 and then times by 100 will give me 100%. Calculator paper this. 94,500 divided by 108 times 100 is 87,500. And since it's money, we need a pound sign, so we put a pound sign in and we're done there. SQA National 5 Maths 2014 Paper 2 Question 1. There are 964 pupils on the roll at Aberleven High School. It is forecast the roll will decrease by 15% per year. what will it be after 3 years? So it's going down by 15%. So if I start off with 100% and take away 15%, that gets me to 85%, which as a decimal is 0.85. That's my multiplier. So I take 964 times by 0.85, and then it's over 3 years, so to the power of 3, because this is depreciation. Calculator for that, 964 times 0.85 to the power of 3 is 592.0165. So I'll just write down my whole answer, 592.0165, which to the nearest 10 is 590. So I'll write 590 for my final answer. From a 2015 paper 2 question 1, a house is valued at £240,000. It's predicted to rise by 2.8% per annum. Calculate its predicted value after 2 years. Step 1's always the same. We need to find the multiplier, what we're going to times by. So we're starting off with 100%, and it's rising by 2.8%. So that gives me 102.8%. Now we need to change that to a decimal. So we'll do 102.8 divided by 100. And to be safe, I'll use a calculator. 102.8 divided by 100, 1.028. So that is my key number, that's my multiplier, because now what I'm going to do is take my £240,000 times my multiplier, and it's to the power of however many years of the time frame, so in this case 2. 240,000 times 1.028 to the power of 2. And I get 25362816. 253628.16. Last thing, don't forget your pound sign. X-Grade National 5 Maths 2016 Paper 2 Question 1. A drinks manufacturer is reducing the sugar content of their fizzy drinks by 8% per year over the next 3 years. The sugar content is 35 grams. What is it worth after 3 years? So there's our key numbers, 8%, 3 years, 35 grams. So dealing with a percent first, it is going down. So it's 100% minus 8%, which is 92%. Which is 0.92. So that's our multiplier. So we take our amount, which is 35 grams, we times by our multiplier to the power of how many years it is, which is 3 years, and we get a calculator out and work it out. 35 times 0.92 to the power of 3 is 27.25408. 27.25408. grams. Just check, is there any particular rounding involved? Nope. So chances are there will not be a mark for rounding, so you could just write it like that. Or if you want to neaten this up a little bit, 27.3 or 27.25 would be a acceptable answer. I'm just going to write 27.3 grams. Even 27 would be fine. Okay, now question 2017 paper 2 question 2 says a necklace is valued at £1,200. It's expected to increase by 4.5% per year over the next 3 years. Calculate its expected value after this time. Give your answers to the nearest pound. Be careful, remember to round. So let's start the same way. Our multiplier, 100% plus 4.5%. That's 104.5%. Change that to a decimal by dividing by 100, and this time I won't use a calculator, is 1.045. There's our key number. Use a calculator just to be sure. So then we take the money, 1200, times the multiplier to the power of the time, which is 3. So then we definitely need a calculator. 1200 times 1.045 to the power of 3 is 1369.39935. Let's just write that whole thing down. 1369.39935, which equals to the nearest pound 1369 pounds. SQA National 5 Maths 2018 Paper 2 Question 1. Households in a city produced a total of 125,000 tonnes of waste in 2017. The total amount of waste is to fall by 2%. So there's our two numbers to start with. What is the total amount of waste expected to produce in 2020? So let's start off with the percent again. It's fallen, so it's 100% minus 2%, which is 98%. Which is 0.98. There's our multiplier. So we take our amount, 125,000, times by the multiplier of 0.98, and we need to work out the time. 2017 to 2020 is 3 years, so to the power of 3. 125,000 times 0.98 to the power of 3 is 117,649. 117,649. I'll just write tonnes, because that's our units in the question. And we're done there. SQA National 5 Maths 2019 Paper 2 Question 1. A charity distributed 80,000 emergency packages during 2018. The number is expected to increase by 15% each year. How many packages is it expected to distribute in 2021? So again, there's our amount, there's our percentage, and then the time we can work out is the difference between the years. So looking at the percent first, we start with 100%, we add 15% because it's going up, 115%, change that to a decimal, which is divided by 100, 1.15 is our key multiplier. So now we take our 80,000 times by 1.15 to the power of, well, the number of years, 18, 19, 20, 21, 3 years. Get a calculator. 80,123 times 1.15 to the power of 3, 121,670. 121,670. And we're done there. National 5 Maths 2021, Paper 2, Question 1. A housing development is being built. The price of a house built in 2020 is 250,000. It's expected to increase by 4% each year. What's the expected house price of a price being built in 2022? So percent increase, 100% plus 4% is 104%, which is 1.04. So we take our money, 250,000, times by our multiplier of 1.04 and the power 2020, 21, 22, that's 2 years to the power of 2. 250,123 times 1.04 squared, 270,400, 270,400, and we're done there. Company's annual profits is increasing to 215,000, increased by 3% a year. What's the per annual profit by the end of 2025? So our multiplier, 100 plus 3 divided by 100 is 103 divided by 100, which is 1.03. Start with 100%, added 3%. So we take our money, times by our multiplier to the power of 4, because it's 4 years between 2021 and 2025. And that's called depreciation. If you do that in a calculator, you get something like 241,984.39, which to the nearest £1,000 is £242,000. And we're done. SQA National 5 Maths 2023 Paper 2 Question 1. A caravan was bought for £20,000 last year. £20,000, so it depreciated by 11% in the first year, then it depreciated by 6% each year over the next 2 years. What's the value 3 years after it was bought? So this is a multiple one, which is the first time it's come up for a while in National 5, but it comes up in apps quite often. So it depreciates by 11%, so we do 100% minus 11%, which is 89%, which is 0.89. So that's our first multiplier, 0.89, and the second one's 6%, so it's 100% minus 6%, which is 94%, which is 0.94. And I can take a note for myself that that's the first year, so that's 1, and then that's the next 2 years, so that's 2. So then we start with our money, £20,000, times the first multiplier, 89, times the next multiplier, 94. But one of them's got a power. The first one's just 1 year, so it's just power of 1. The next one is 2 years, so it's the power of 2. And then we can do all that in our calculator. So £20,000 times 0.89 times 0.94 squared is 15728.08. 15728.08. Check there's no rounding to be done. Nope, so I'm done there. This has been Clive Mastery over for the whole percentages in the National 5 Maths. That included reverse percentages and appreciation and depreciation. Hopefully you found that useful. If so, give it a like and a thumbs up. And please remember to subscribe to the channel for further updates. National 5 videos are coming every single week now. Take care, stay safe, and goodbye.